I mentioned in a recent video when I was showing about my pack here, my day pack I carry whenever I go out hiking in the wilderness or the backcountry, especially if there's no cell coverage. But even with, I have basic supplies I need so that if anything goes wrong, I can take care of myself for a bit until I can get out of there again. Obviously, that includes water and some food, but also just some basic shelter and emergency, like first aid type supplies. Well, one thing I added recently that I did not have then, a lot of you commented about it, was a personal locator beacon. So let's take a look at that. Okay, so you've followed along on my channel for any length of time. You've surely heard me talk about the importance of carrying emergency gear at all times when you go out in the backcountry, because none of us ever expects to have an emergency while we're out hiking or canoeing or camping or whatever, but things happen. And if we're not prepared when something goes wrong, then it can become a legitimate emergency, a life-threatening emergency quickly, where if we are prepared with at least some basic supplies, doesn't have to be expensive or heavy or really bulky, just stuff that would fit in a day pack, it can, at a minimum, can be the difference between being a really miserable experience for hours or days while you try and either get help or self-extricate from the backcountry, or in the worst situations can literally be the difference between life and death. Well, recently I did a video, what's in my bag, and I showed the stuff I do carry in my day pack. One of the things I mentioned I have been planning to get for a few years now, was a personal locator beacon. That is an emergency satellite-connected device that is able to summon help with GPS coordinates to my location, just in case I'm ever in a really bad situation. I've been in a few sketchy situations when I was out in the backcountry before, but I've always been able to get myself out safely, and some, even if I'd thought I was going to be spending the night and I still was able to get out, but even if I'd had to spend the night, I had enough supplies with me that, it might have been a little cold or a little unnerving because I was in grizzly bear country, but mountain lion country, but it wouldn't have been the end of the world. Well, anyway, after I made that video, I mentioned I need to get a personal locator beacon. Both my parents contacted me, said they were really relieved to know the kind of stuff I carried, and next thing I know, they sent me something for my birthday, and they sent me one of the ResQLink personal locator beacons. So we're going to do an unboxing on this today. I have not got it set up or anything, so brand new in the box. We'll open it up, take a look at it, and then I'll come back in a little bit and share more about it. So first thing, open up the box here. It's taped shut, so I will mention just from the cover here, it said built-in buoyancy, which is nice. It floats if you drop it in the water. You may think that's not too big of a deal, if it's in your pack. But if you're canoeing or kayaking or crossing a waterway when it falls out of your pack or something like that, that could be nice. So I think it's a good feature for an emergency thing like this. Reports it has global coverage, which is great. Also, no subscription needed, which is nice, because I know some of the other brands of personal locators, you do have to have an annual subscription, and that can get pricey because you're paying every year again for the subscription for a thing that you hope to never use. And apparently this one also has a strobe and infrared strobe on it, which could be handy if you're ever in a situation where you have to summon help, you hear a helicopter coming or you hear rescuers shouting to you or whatever in the distance. It'd be nice to have a signal light to be able to alert them to your locations. They can find easier, because especially if it's dark, you can be just a few yards off a trail and be invisible to somebody walking past. So, all right, so let's get into this a little more. Another box inside of a box. Warning: use only in situations of grave and imminent danger. You'd like to think that they didn't have to put that warning in the box, but I'm sure they do. So if I ever activate a emergency locator like this, I'm going to be in trouble. It's going to be because I really need some help. So, all right, so here's the inside of the box. This, of course, is the device itself. And this looks to be an antenna on the side that pops up. And there we go. You got a nice big antenna. That's kind of cool. So it's a ResQLink 400. And it does note on here, and I'll mention this because it's important if you are using these, GPS, give clear view to sky. So if you're in a cave, you may not be able to get a GPS signal unless you're like right at the mouth of the cave. And I have seen times where GPS was struggling a bit in really, really heavy tree cover. So if you are in that kind of a environment, you may have to get to a little bit of an opening where you can see the sky through the trees or something. But it's a fairly small device. If I close that back down, you can see it's just about smaller than palm size, really. And very light, weighs very little. Battery on this thing, it's got a built-in battery, and it's supposed to be good until at least November of 2027. So that's 6 years now, so that's pretty cool. There is a Velcro strap that comes with it, and let's see, another little package of accessories. I'm not sure what those are all yet, but we will check that out. So pretty simple setup here. It looks like there is some paperwork in the bottom of the box. Okay, there is some paperwork in the bottom of the box here that I will, a bunch of different things I will go through and see how much of it's important. We'll get to that. It looks like they want me to register it, do an official registration. So, of course, stickers. Everybody's got stickers these days, including me, right? So, all right, so that's the device. Anyways, this is the ACR ResQLink, and we will be looking into this. I'll check it out more, and I'll come back when I know a little more to share with you about this device. So the ACR ResQLink 400 is a dead simple personal locator beacon. Very simple device. It's small and compact, and very light. Hardly even adds anything to your pack. As far as using it, if you're ever in and this is the kind of thing you use in a life and death situation where you absolutely have to be rescued. You cannot get yourself out. If you ever have to use it, you take it out of your bag, or you can have it, as a lanyard. You can Velcro lanyard. You could always strap it to a pack or something if you really wanted it handy. But I keep mine in the bag, and of course the bag is in the van. So if I'm driving, I also have it. But there's an antenna that wraps around it, so you just slide that out and release the antenna, and then it folds up. When the antenna folds up, it exposes the power button. There's only two buttons on it. You have a self-test button. You can does a self-test on it, make sure it's everything's working properly, and a power button. If you're in an emergency and you need to call for help, you press and hold that power button for 2 seconds. The device activates, and that's it. It sends a signal up to a satellite. The satellite beams it back down to a receiving station, a ground station, and your coordinates are sent to the appropriate emergency responders. And that's all there is to it. You wait to be rescued. They do recommend that you stay put once you activate it so that they can find you most easily. It does have, as I mentioned before, it does have a strobe light on it too, which can help identify you or make you visible if it's dark or something. That's all there is to using this thing. The battery lasts for at least 5 years. This one's, the date on it's almost 6 years. So once you get one of these, you do need to register these devices with National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration. They have a special website devoted to that. You just put in your information from the device, the serial number and whatnot, and your name and address and cell phone number, and you can put in 2 emergency contacts as well, which is kind of nice, because at that point, if you ever have to activate this thing, the emergency responders will also be able to reach out to your emergency contacts, see if they have any information that could be useful or helpful as they're trying to rescue you. If they know about certain medical conditions you have, or what your plans were, how prepared you are, what kind of gear you may have with you, all that sort of stuff. Once you register it, within a week or 2, you get a letter in the mail from NOAA, and they will send you a decal. A confirmation. It's got your printed registration information, but also a decal that you have to put on the back of the device, and it proves that it's registered. I think you have to renew it every 2 years, I guess it is. Every 2 years you have to renew the registration on it. So, like I said before in the unboxing, having one of these things is the thing you never want to use. But if you ever a situation, I mean, think about the things that go wrong medically. If you have a heart attack or something, or you twisted your broken ankle, or tore up a knee, or just even getting seriously lost in the wilderness. There's lots of things that can go wrong when you're out in the backcountry, and we're so accustomed these days just be able to pick up the phone and call 911 anytime we need help. But if you're in the backcountry, you may not be able to have a cell signal to reach anybody, and it's also, so this will cover you then, and also this is going to send your GPS coordinates so they know exactly where to find you. So like I said, this is the thing you never want to have to use, but if you ever do need to use it, you're going to be glad you had it. So none of these satellite things are really cheap. This one's over $300, and that's, there are some that are a little cheaper, but then you have to have a subscription. There's no subscription with this, so pay it once, and the thing lasts for 5 or 6 years till the battery dies, and I guess you have to get another one at that point. But so it's like $50 a year to have this peace of mind and know that if something goes horribly, horribly wrong when you're out in the backcountry, you're still going to be able to reach help. And this isn't just for hiking. I mean, boaters use these things. And there's even just driving. I mean, there's many times I'm driving in the backcountry. I'm way out there, and if I were to have a serious situation and couldn't get myself out and was in trouble, again, I'd still be able to summon help with this device. So I think this device, or one like it, is worth having if you're going to be spending time in the backcountry, where if something goes wrong, it's a problem. And if something goes seriously wrong, it's life and death, because if you can't get yourself out, nobody's probably going to find you for a while. So I'll have an Amazon link to this in the video description below if you want to check it out, learn more about it. The reviews on these are fantastic, and it does give me peace of mind, and like my folks said when they sent it out, it gives them peace of mind too, because they worry about me when I'm out on my little adventures. So I hope this review was helpful, give you an idea of how it works. Like I said, nothing could be simpler, and you can just put it in your bag and forget about it unless you ever need it. Well, thanks for joining me with this video, everybody.